Chris Salvador going to talk really quick about what has shocked, well, not really shocked, because I kind of got the vibe when I saw the newest teasers and stuff that the people pretty much just said that Wolverine sucks and it's a piece of shit, and that X-Men 3, which is one I didn't even like at all, and I wrote a lengthy thing saying I didn't like it, that it's better than X-Men. I mean, it's not better than X-Men 3, not by much. And I think here are some of the main reasons. I haven't seen Wolverine yet, but I am going to hopefully, because I do want to see Star Trek more. I know J.J. Abrams is going to knock that out of the park. So I'm kind of saving up, because now they're like 12, 13, 14 bucks. So I'll just probably go get a drink this weekend, bub, you know. So, but here are some of the reasons for me. I feel, reading all the reviews, everybody is, why people did not like this version of Wolverine. And the reason was always simple. Like, I never thought they should make a prequel, in the sense that basically you already got a prequel, really, in X-Men 2, and where you see all the backstory of Stryker and the Weapon X, and basically all you can really do is go from when Wolverine escapes and goes raw and Rogue. Like, basically that's all you're left with, is you're left with the story between Raw and Rogue. And is that story really necessary? And you go, well, maybe he's had some love interest, maybe he's met some, mutants, superheroes, maybe, like, what is that story? What is that backstory? And, it's a rich history of hundreds of years, and I think the problem is that you can't. I think the main fundamental problem with Wolverine is that you're never going to be able to film him and do him justice, and even if you did film him and do it justice, people wouldn't like it. It's kind of like what happened with Alien vs. Predator, where everybody didn't like it because it was PG-13, and one of the many reasons. And then you see Alien vs. Predator Requiem, and people still don't like that one, even though it was rated R, and you saw nothing but blood and guts. And I think the reason is, it's not so much about just blowing things up and blowing heads up and showing the horror. It's about showing the little things in horror that happen. The little things, like slicing someone's lips off and having them walk through the entire movie with lips off. Could you imagine if, this sounds ridiculous, but what if when Wolverine met Gambit, he just didn't like the way he looked, and he was like, are you looking at me? And it was a kind of Martin Scorsese psychological thing, and he just didn't like Gambit, and Gambit, for no reason, decided to go and kiss, like fucking around. And Wolverine didn't like it. He didn't like that homophobia, because, hello, the character could hate gay people. An interesting thing. He's been around. Maybe he changed over time. That's the whole point. From Raw to Rogue, there's a change there where maybe at first he was kind of not into gay people. Like, he was really homophobic and hatred, and he was one of those people that might go out and beat the shit out and kill gays or something. And stories will never do that. You'll never take that and do something with a character like that. And maybe that little thing, Gambit kisses, a little, like, Wolverine just walks over and slices his fucking lips off. And you go, whoa. So you see, you don't have to show a decapitation or a guy's getting head blown off with a grenade. You go, wow, Gambit got his lips cut off because he blew a kiss at Wolverine. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something funny, there's jokes in that, but at the same time it establishes the psychology of this character to go, I don't like, I'm not a fag. And whoa, he's saying it that way, like I'm not a faggot. And the idea that, wow, I didn't think of that. If somebody was racist or something, and they had the strength that Wolverine did, he can do essentially anything to you and leave effects that are irreversible that stay with you for your life. And that's kind of that kind of psychology of what I just showed you is not going to be evident in any Wolverine movie ever. And you're never going to see things like that. Not to mention that the writer, he is supposed to find ways to say, well, what if Weapon X did put something in his claws that did not allow him to retract them? That they go, we put a special whatever in your claws, so you can't just retract them whenever you want. If you're if you're meeting the president, it's not going to retract. And then that would establish the character that he's not able to use his claws. He's kind of got to dig in to open them every time, dig in to open them every time, dig in, and then maybe one day he meets a mutant or somebody, Magneto, hello, a mutant, and he goes, oh, and opens it, and that's You see what I'm saying? And that's how he found out about Wolverine, or so. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe he met Magneto at one point. Magneto, yeah, Magneto was Mac into bitches, yeah. But maybe he met Magneto at one point, and Magneto opened that up for him, because he wanted him to go. He said, "I want the Beast to have the claws open." But it backfired, and at that time Wolverine was not killing people. He controlled his rage. You have another issue where here's something else you're not going to see. What if you put in a character trait and say that Sabretooth, the reason that he's so kind of animalistic and dumb is that maybe there's something inside. Here's something you can use, that the more people that Wolverine kills, the more his brain becomes like an animal, stupid and dumb, that he's not able to have conversations or do any. He's just like a dog, really. He just resorts to just dog dumbness and killing. That would establish, maybe they could have done that with Sabretooth and show that is what makes Sabretooth kind of just grunt and not really have that, able to, and that would have been an interesting thing to show maybe Sabretooth in the beginning as this smart, suave, Jeremy Irons, Hans Gruber type guy that's smart and sophisticated, and that because of either Weapon X or somebody, they forced him to kill people, and he lost that, and that made him just a dumb animal, and that Wolverine, that is a trait. Like, wow, they turned him into something dumb that just kills. I have to stop that. And I myself have now a conflict where I can't kill that much. I can kill, but if I rack up enough bodies or whatever, so you put a limit and a restraint on the character. And these are things, just talking about it now, and you go, these are things you're not even going to see in that movie, and that's just going to make that character much less interesting. And like I said, those are the kinds of things that you need to put in a prequel. You need to put things like that, because then it forces you to go, oh, Wolverine can't use his claws, but he can punch the shit out of somebody. But now you're going, wait, if he punches the shit out of somebody too much, how far is he getting into the rage? It puts restrictions on the character, and it establishes that he's repressed and he's got this rage, but he's got to control it. You know what I'm saying? And that it's really certain moments he can just let loose, but it establishes why he's not walking around just kind of chink, chink, kind of like an Anton Chigurh, just putting his fist up to your face and stabbing your brains out. And these are the kinds of things you're not going to see. And like I said, another problem is there's also that third movie syndrome where they always put a Ryan Reynolds or somebody in there, and it's always like, is he going to get a spin-off? That should not be your focus of a movie. You don't put someone in Return of the King and let's get a spin-off for Return of the King or something. A third part is, I'm not saying part 3s, but I'm saying usually with a movie, you never should do that, is throw in a character that people go, let's go see that guy in the next movie. Like, focus on the movie you're making now, and that character's cool, and of course you want to see more about him, but that shouldn't be your goal, is because in a way that's kind of what Heath Ledger didn't do, is that he did focus and say, you're not going to get to see more Joker, I got to give you everything with Joker now, not let me just kind of come in and play it up and help people go, maybe the next time we'll see Joker. You're seeing Joker now, so give me everything you can of Joker. You're seeing Deadpool now, give me everything you can of Deadpool, and stop trying to hold back for another property that we all know is most likely never going to be made. You look at someone like Puss in Boots from Shrek 2, they've always wanted to do spin-offs. Looks how 2004, it's 2009, there still hasn't been a spin-off for that character. So could you imagine if, just thinking in that terms, that they just held back Puss in Boots a little bit and didn't give you Puss in Boots, and were like, oh, let's hold it off for a spin-off for this Puss in Boots movie, and look now, 5 years later, you probably don't even care about the character that much. But that's the point, is that, like a Hannibal Lecter, you have to give what you can when you can and stop trying to hold back. Just give, and then if there's room for a sequel and the character more, give again. And I think that's the major problems of why Wolverine won't work and why it is failing. And that it's just not going to be, the psychology is not going to be there, the things aren't going to be there, and it just seems weak and tacked on, and is trying to be a summer movie blockbuster when it really shouldn't be that at all.